everyone. This is Jacqueline Gordon Kane, and we are now on Chapter 2 of Lessons Learned as a Woman Book Club. So, this is an exciting chapter because this chapter will help us through a lot of things that happen just because it's life and being able to determine how you're going to move forward. So, Chapter 2 talks about life changes and issues. And I'm going to read you the first part of this so we can kind of dive into it and break it down and be able to see what we need to do in order to start eliminating some of the issues that happen in our lives. I say here, it says, my dear daughters, please take the time and remember the words from this chapter. The words throughout this chapter will help you move through challenging times that you are sure to come to, as long as you live on this earth. Life will bring you many, many changes and challenges. The critical part is ... How do you handle these changes or challenges? This will determine who you are and what quality of life you will be able to enjoy. And I break down here on how I had to make many hard choices in my life. For instance, I had to bury my daughter Melanie when she was 23-year-old. Melanie was born with cerebral palsy, and she was given a lifespan of 12 years per the doctors when she was little because of the brain damage from cerebral palsy. And my baby lived to be 23, so there you go. But on March 5th in 2013, Melanie died. And she died right as I was getting ready to have surgery for breast cancer. So I'm getting ready to have surgery. We had the date set for February the 21st or something like that. And Melanie went into hospital on January the 30th. And this surgery was already scheduled. They actually wanted me to have it sooner because I diagnosed in January 2013 that I had breast cancer. So my doctor was like, come on, we need to just go have surgery. I'm like, okay, let's schedule it. But I had a lot of things I had to put into place because I knew I would be off work for a very long time because I ended up having a double mastectomy. That's where you have both breasts removed because of the cancer. So we went into schedule it. We were good to go. When Melanie got sick, she went into hospice, I think the first part of February. So that means I had to call my doctors and cancel my surgery. So Melanie actually lived 21 days to the day when she passed away. So I had to get myself together to bury her, and then 10 days later go and have the breast cancer surgery. So at the time it was a lot of tough stuff going on in my world. But what kept me going was choices. I had to determine how I was going to allow those hard things to be in my life and how I was going to live through it. So because I had a solid foundation in Christ, I didn't lose my mind. And see, a lot of us ladies, we are so tied up in everything around us that we forget about having that solid foundation and knowing that God is in control of everything. There's nothing that happens that He's not able to fix around you. But we put our hope in people so strongly that we forget about flipping that thing around and putting our hope in God, and then letting people have a little hope in people but realize they're just flesh and blood just like you and me. I can make mistakes. I can hurt people. You can make mistakes. You can hurt people. And that hurt goes so deep that you're not able to bounce back from it sometimes. But if you have your hope in God and realize that people are people, you can move through this thing called life and kind of like not have those permanent scars that you have sometimes because of things happening. So I could have lost my mind if I did not have trust in God, because if it was easy for me to have a pity party, it was easy for me to say, woe is me. See, some of us will have to endure more pain than others. And I have been one of those who have had to endure more pain than the average person, and some folks in my family, unfortunately. Being able to stay on a steady course with God as you will need him in order to guide you through those hard things. You will need help from him in order to enjoy your life because of hard things. None of us are excused from pain. And I tell people this all the time because, you know, you think that someone's got it better than you. We all got stuff we're dealing with. It's just in a different way. But how you're able to handle the challenges that come your way is going to determine, like I said before, the quality of life that you're going to have. See, if you read in Psalms 34:19, the NIV version, it says, the righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all. The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all. I'm an example of that. I could have lost my mind. I could have been so depressed. I could have stayed in bed in the fetal position like 24/7 because that was some hard stuff to go through. But what I understood was I was not in control. If I was going to survive this thing, I had to depend on the Lord to help me move to the next level in order for me to not fall into a state of depression. Because difficult times in your life can happen, and they can come one after other, one after other, one after other. So like I said before, some people have more difficult things happen than others. Me, I started young. My mother died when I was only 7. She got killed by a drunk driver. So there we go. We start this flipping thing around, having to deal with life and hard things. So the grace of God was over me and my siblings. We were able to make it through. He kept a covering over us. We went through some things that normal kids wouldn't go through if they had parents living in that home. But we survived it because God had mercy upon us. So then we talk about, as I said before, none of us are exempt. Absolutely not. You will be able to move faster through the tests that are given in your life if you're learning how to stand and ask God to give you the answers of what's going on. See, when I went through this, I had a chance to say, okay, Lord, what's going on? A lot of people say you don't question God. I wasn't questioning him. I wanted him to give me an answer of what was going on so that I could be able to cope and have a little peace as I walk through it and stay tied to him so that I can beat this thing called life and it not beat me down. So when we went to deal with Melanie's situation, the doctor told us, and I told the doctors, I said, okay, that's enough. I don't want to hear any more about how all her organs are shutting down and she's gonna not make it through the night or whatever. And I'm like, okay, good, let me go see what God says, because you got to see what he says. So Kane picked me up from the hospital. She was in ICU. I came home and I took a shower, and while I was in the shower, I was frank with God. I said, Lord, why is this happening to me? And is my baby going to make it? Is she gonna, you gonna spare her life this time? And the reason why I say this time is because Melanie had to go through a lot of hard things in her life, and she always bounced right back. All doctors were shocked. But this time the Lord told me, not this time. I said, okay, Lord, so not this time, huh? And he said, no, it's time for her to come home. So I got my shower and I got out and I talked to Kane and I said, well, Kane, the Lord just told me not this time. Melanie's going to go on to be with him, and she deserved it because she had been through so much in life and been in so much pain from cerebral palsy and so on. So I had to make a choice. Was I going to let God start healing me through the hard challenges I was given? Or was I going to do what the flesh wanted to do? Lash out at everybody and, why me, Lord? I don't understand why I have to go through so much. I had to make a hard choice how I was going to allow this to happen. And how it was gonna make me feel or affect me and the children that I had watching how me and Kane were going to handle this hard thing. So with that being said, I had a choice to make. So knowing why you're going through something will bring immediate peace. So once the Lord explained to me what was happening in my life, that Melanie, it was time for her to come, and that everything that was happening to me was going to be used for his good, and the enemy wanted to turn it out for bad, but God said, I'm going to flip it around for his good. And that's so, so true, because I'm standing here today with y'all in good health and strength, and doing what he called me to do, speaking life into you and encouraging you to live the life that God has dreamed for you, because he allowed me to go through some tough things and come out on the other side. And then it says, do not be afraid to ask God to show you why something is happening. Because when he explained to me what was happening and why it was happening, immediate amount of peace came over me that I really needed deeply, because my heart was so heavy. That peace came over me. Then I was able to plan the things that needed to happen to make sure that my baby got a very good burial, and that I prepared myself for surgery to remove the cancer. So we left there. We went and made arrangements for her burial. We stayed with her and watched her gradually, through the peace of God, transition into her heavenly home. We left. We got everything done. We buried my babe. We went to the hospital. I'm getting ready to go in surgery, and yet again, heart heavy. And God showed me this vision of all these angels lined up in the hallway as they were rolling me in for surgery. And I'm telling you, it was the most fantastic thing I could have seen at that time, because I needed that encouragement. And as they were rolling me through, I could hear it just like it was then. The Lord was telling me, it's gonna be all right. My angels are covering you, and you are gonna be all right. And as I walked and I saw on both sides of me these huge angels just lined up in the hospital hallway as they rolled me through, a peace again came over me, because this is some hard stuff. But the secret was, I allowed God to give me peace. I decided I was not going to have a pity party. I decided that the enemy was not going to win and take my mind, my peace of mind. Because that's the secret for him. If he can get hard things in your life and you just allow him to wipe you out, his goal is he check you off the list. He don't have to worry about you anymore. You're damaged goods. You're in the corner. I was determined not to let that happen to me, even though it was one of the most hardest things I've ever had to deal with. So I became victorious. We all are victorious over all things when we allow God to show us why we're going through something and what we need to do to move forward. See, I saw it as getting a second chance in life, because God knew I had filled my life with a bunch of junk, a bunch of crap, and a bunch of foolishness. Can I say that? Most of us fill our lives with a bunch of junk, crap, and foolishness, and people are lumped up in there too. See, when you decide that some hard things are happening and life changes happen, you've got to decide that, okay, it's time to start over and get God to give me this second chance. So everyone's problems are not your problems. Did you hear me? Everyone's problems are not your problem. And that's how we get stuck with junk people and situations. I tell this to all my girls. And my sister-in-law, Edna, reminds me often about it when I talk to her, if she's going through something tough. She says, sis, you remember you told me everybody's problems are not my problems? I'm like, yeah. She said, that was life-changing. I'm like, isn't it life-changing? See, we take on the problems of other folk that we shouldn't be taking over. God, they need to go to the Lord and he figure it out. If someone in your life is having a difficult time, have compassion and love for them and empathy, because we're supposed to have that. But don't bring it home with you in your pocketbook and take it out of your pocketbook and lay it on the shelf. That's their battle. They need to go before the Lord and figure it out. You're going to hold them up in prayer as the Lord work it out for them. But don't you take on their problems, because that will get you up into a situation where you got too many life-changing things that are happening that you didn't even cause, but you've accepted from other folk. You got to be able to balance it and move on. Save yourself from issues. Save your energy for the issues and tests, which most things that happen in our lives are just tests that are designed for you to grow. You need to save your energy for that. Don't get all over the place in everybody else's problem. It is easier to move forward from a broken plan than it is from a broken heart. Did you hear me? When you let other people bring their stuff to you, you set yourself up. When you stay on point, you stay on point. It is easy for you to go and break a plan and restore it when you need to, then it get lumped up with a whole bunch of other folk problems, and then your heart is broken when it don't work out the way it should work out, and then you can't move forward because you're too focused on your broken heart. Remember that. A broken plan is easier to deal with than a broken heart, so stay focused. Also, you need to make sure you stay in a place where you keep it moving. Hard things are going to happen. I had a choice. Am I going to stay where I am and pity party and deal with it? And everybody deserves to grieve, and I did some grieving. Don't get me wrong. It was not like I'm Superwoman. No, my heart was broken. My baby gone, and I had to have all this surgery done because of cancer. My heart was broken. But I kept moving one day at a time. I got out of the bed. I washed my face. I ate. I spent time with my family. I spent time with my friends. I just stayed moving along and not staying steady in that spot of depression. So another thing that you need to remember when you're going through issues in life is to make sure you think before you react. Oh, was I the queen of drama, as my siblings tell me? Oh boy, could I have drama. My youngest daughter tell me, Mom, you just over the top. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much. But I have had to learn to think before I react, which helped me to go through this thing called life. Take a deep breath each time you are given a challenge, before making a decision, or before you say something that you're going to regret later. Take the time to gather your thoughts to handle what's going on with you before you react. This is going to be critical for you if you're going through something and you just want to tell everybody off. No. Take a time, take a deep breath. God's working with me, y'all, because I am such a verbal person. And that's why I got my bachelor in communication, because I'm like, I got to tell you what it is and I got to move on. So I'm good at telling you what to think and move on. And I have had to learn to sometimes just wait and don't say what you think, because everybody's got a story. You never know why that person is acting the way they are acting. Did you hear me? Everybody's got a story. So learn to think before you act. Never tell your problems to a judgmental or a jealous-hearted person. Woo, Lord Jesus. Can I close the book now? No, I won't. Y'all, just because somebody say they mean you well don't mean they mean you well. Look at the motives of the people around you. If they mean you well, they will do the right thing by you. So stop being so anxious to tell your problems to everybody because you want to vent to someone, and find that person or those people that you can tell your problems to, that you know are going to keep you in prayer, give you some good sound advice, and help you move to the next level. Don't always tell your problems to people that you know don't mean you well, because it's just going to come back and it's going to spread it out over the world, and then you're going to feel even more hurt. So learn to just go through it. Talk to the people you need to talk to. Talk to the Lord. If you don't have anybody in your circle you can tell it to, talk out loud to Him and get it off your chest and move on. Learn to go with the flow instead of fighting for life all the time. I often tell people to let it roll off your back like a duck. The water off of a duck back. If you notice a duck have little BB balls of water, it rolls off. It never drenches them. They can go in the water. Many times they come up, it just rolls right off their back. You got to learn to live that way, because if you start putting in your heart and carrying all the heaviness from life issues and concerns, it will weigh you down, and then you will not have a quality of life you deserve. So with that being said, I'm going to talk about the two kind of stressors, and these are critical. When you get your copy of the book, highlight this, circle it, do what you need to do to make sure you get this. It says some things are not worth giving away your special attention to. My dear friend Dr. Patrick Ware, who's a psychiatrist, he's a good friend of mine, and he was writing a book one time, and he told me, he said, Jackie, I'm going to tell you what I tell a lot of my patients. They have to learn to number their issues and concerns that they have from 1 to 10. 10 meaning the most severe. If it's not on the level 10, 9, or 8, you need to move it off your list. If it's on 10, 9, 8, those are the things you need to focus on to get corrected. Because if you're focusing on something that's on level 1, 10 being the worst, one being the least. You got to decide how you're going to allow things to affect you in your life. So if it's bad, you need to stay focused, but don't put everything on a 10. Oh, the dishes are not dirty, the kids are not acting right. That's not a 10, baby. A 10 is my health is being attacked, my family is being attacked, my job is being attacked. Those things are 10s that you need to go to the Lord before and get him to cover you, not the stuff on the ones and so on. So stressors is one of the stresses that we need to talk about. Stresses, sorry. It is called a positive stress, which motivates you to continue working. This kind of stress keep you going in order to complete a goal, grow, learn a new skill, stop doing something that's hurting you, and so on. This is a good stress because it's focusing you to go to the next level in your life. That would be, say for instance, you wanting to learn a new skill to get a better job. See, that's a good kind of stress. It's hard. You're having to study all this and pass all these tests, but that's good stress because you're moving to the next level. De-stress is the one that we need to try to stay away from. And that's the kind of stress that is negative stress. This will work on your health, your mental well-being, and can cause you to make bad choices. Those kind of stresses you need to eliminate out of your life. The stress that's causing you to be at a point where you can't live wholly. So in Proverbs 11:8 it says, the righteous person is rescued from trouble and it falls on the wicked instead. Did you hear that? Proverbs 11:8 says, the righteous person is rescued from trouble and it falls on the wicked instead. I can't tell you how many times I had to leave something that was going on in my life out of my hands and leave it with the Lord so he could take care of it. So everything someone trying to throw on you, the Lord said it's going to come off of you and it's going to go to the wicked. So if someone trying to do something to harm you, don't even worry about it. Remember this scripture. Let me read again. Proverbs 11:8. The righteous person is rescued from trouble and it falls on the wicked instead. Read that. Remind yourself of that. Cleanse yourself from all that negativity and that distress, and don't let it stress you out. Focus and let God fix it and move on. And then we talk about, I love this song, I Hope You Dance. I love that song. And this song says that everything that I hope for my daughters, it doesn't matter what you're going through in life, I hope you take the time to dance like no one is looking. Dance anyway. You know, just dance anyway. Enjoy life no matter what's going on around you. It would help you to move forward quicker and get through that test quicker than it would for you to be standing there dwelling on it over and over and over. And now in the book, and I told you guys I'm a visual person, we talk about a practice test. You stresses that you're dealing with now. That's good stress that is keeping you on achieving your goals and helping you do your daily things. Example, what are your good stresses you have right now? Raising my kids, going to college, or whatever. You write those down 1 to 5. Then you're going to write down 5 distresses that you're dealing with now. Bad stress. Examples, working in a negative environment, having too many things on my to-do list, too many distractions, in a bad relationship. You write those 5 things down. Then, now that you have clear understanding of the 2 kinds of stressors, try hard to eliminate the pressure of your day-to-day by getting control of these issues. You are very special to the Lord and you deserve to be whole. Don't let the issues of people, situation, and things cause you to not live a whole life. Eliminate the stresses out of your life, whatever it takes. Life happens, babies. Life happens. Like I said in chapter 1, God knew what you were going to have to deal with before you even did it ever happened to you. But you're going to have to decide how you're going to handle the hard things in life. You're going to stay there and get an F on that test every single time and it keep rolling around in your life? Or are you going to stay focused and ask God to show you what it is you need to do to move forward? Take baby steps every single day. Even if you're depressed, just get up every morning and wipe your face off. Put you on a little lip gloss or something. Go stand outside and feel the sun. Go visit some friends and family. Do something positive for yourself just to get through it, as God will move all that negativity out of your way and help you. Learn the two stresses, good stress and bad stress. Find out how to eliminate the bad stress. Find out how to balance the good stress. Let me tell you, you got to balance the good stress too. If your life is overwhelmed with trying to do so many things to go to the next level, you might have to start breaking off little pieces to make it happen. Again, this is Jacqueline Gordon Kane. Thank you so much for being a part of the book club. That was chapter 2. Chapter 3 is coming. Tell your friends to go sign up so that they can be part of the book club. It's free of charge. You get all these videos. You get a PDF that explains what we're talking about. Go order your book so you can mark it up and note all over it so that you can move to the next level, because I'm so humbled to have you part of my life and part of the journey that we're all going through, and that's learning how to live a fulfilled life. God bless you. Have a great day.